Anyways, I'm back. Um, I have a bit of. I'm finally announcing um, a bit of a secret project that I've sort of been working on since, I guess, late December last year, and now is actually a good time for me to actually officially announce it. As you guys might know, I play a variety of games from PC to 360 to PS4, anything pretty much that I can get my hands on. And I always try to label in the title what the system was, the game and the system. There's one system, well, actually, technically two systems. Um, One system I have, and I have bought a part for it to replace a cable, which is actually sitting behind me, which hopefully you can sort of see. Um, if that works, then fantastic. It opens me up to over 2,000 different games. If it doesn't, then I have to rethink the strategy slightly. Um, there are a few things I do regret about this project, part wise, and I'll explain what it is. So still have my trusty 15-year-old Nintendo Wii. This one luckily can play GameCube games. One of the very few GameCube Wii's that can play GameCube games. So there you can see there's all the ports for memory cards and the four controller ports. I still have it. I've had this since launch, so this is a launch sorry, not PS3. Launch Nintendo Wii, so 2006. I'll try to put the model in the description. Um, so yeah, I've had this thing for over a decade, almost 2 decades. In about 5 years, it will be 2 decades old, which I can't believe. It's going on 16 year. I think it's 16 years right now. Let me just do some quick math here. 2006 minus 202. Yeah, it's going on 15 years this year, which is just crazy to think that this thing is 15 years old. And I still have my 13-year-old PS3 sitting down below me. So what cable am I replacing? This rat nest of a cable. This is an old composite or component cable, one of the two. I can't remember exactly which. I think it's component. I'll have the correct version down below. I'm switching this to HDMI, and you might be wondering how am I doing that? Well, I bought an adapter from this to HDMI. So that's the way that I'm going to be doing it, running this system off of basically HDMI. So basically it plugs into this port as that port would. So basically this cable would plug like that, but it'd be a white port, probably a little bit longer, probably about that long, to an HDMI cable. So yeah, so when I said a bit over 2,000 games, what do I mean by that? So I have access to the entire GameCube library. This just happens to be NHL 06 and Wii Sports, which actually was the launch game that came with the system. I have all of the Wii games. So, but primarily, what would I be using the system for? Would be playing GameCube games, primarily. And you might be thinking, why don't you just buy a GameCube if you're going that way? Well, I could have, and that was one option I was looking at. But the problem with it is cost. Like, a standard GameCube is like 160, I think, 170. I think. Depending on the variant and color as well. Like, I found a purple one here, which is the Indigo, for about $113. So that is one way I could go, like I said. But the problem with it was cost. Like, I don't really want to spend like $140 on a unit, and then games and an adapter, basically, an adapter cable. But I would have to do it if the adapter doesn't work the way that I want, or it doesn't work at all, or something like that. I'm fingers crossed it works the way that I want it to. But yeah, it's sort of something I've been looking at doing and everything. Like, will I be buying a GameCube at some point? Possibly. And what I mean by that is, like I said, they're stupidly expensive. I have to buy an adapter cable anyways. So I have to do a little bit more research on that side of things, whereas this is ironically a little bit easier, because all it is just one adapter and then pretty much I have every GameCube game and Wii game that was ever made, at least North America wise, because I'm not sure if the Wii's are region locked. Let me look that on. I don't. Yeah. Yeah, the Wii is region locked. So yeah, so it is region locked. Which is fine. I'm not going to be buying a lot of Wii games anyways. Pretty much the use for at least for my case, for this project is to use it for GameCube games. Yeah, so it's sort of a bit of a project I've had, sort of like I said, since middle of December last year. And I'm finally dealing with it now. I'm finally buying gear for it and stuff like that to actually get it to work. What does that mean for the setup? It means I'm obviously going to have to switch out a little bit of gear, actually a lot less than I thought, which is actually kind of good. The main thing I'll have to switch out is my HDMI switcher. Because right now the switcher I'm using is quite small. It only has 2 inputs to 1 output, where I'll have about 4 inputs. So that's a bit of an issue. But luckily enough, I do have a bigger HDMI switch actually sitting right beside me. This guy. This is actually a 5-in, 1-out. So yeah, so it's definitely going to help to alleviate some of the issues that I may run into. Luckily enough, the Wii is compatible with my capture card and all that sort of stuff, which is great. Will I be playing Wii games? I might. Actually, I might. Um, luckily enough, YouTube does recognize the Wii games, which is great. If they didn't, then that would have been a bit of an issue. Yeah, so that would have been a bit of an issue. But, anyways, it is what it is. When do I expect everything to arrive? Probably, I would like to say late January, maybe early February, and then there's a couple other things I'll need, like there's a memory card I'll need. There's going to be a controller, obviously, and the games. Luckily enough, I can get the games for relatively cheap, depending on what game it is, and all that sort of fun stuff. But yeah, there's not many games I'm actually looking for at this point. There's about 6 of them. So, and all of them will be listed down below in the comments of this video. So we have Sonic Riders, Lego Star Wars, Super Monkey Ball, Metroid Prime, and 2 Echoes. Tony Hawk Underground 1 and 2, and Kirby Air Ride are all 6 of the games I'm looking at currently. Does that mean those are only going to be the 6 games that I'm going to have? Probably not. Those games are the ones that I'm looking at this moment. Some of them are kind of a little expensive. Like, one of the other ones that I was looking at, just for the jokes of it, was, oh god, I can't remember. Give me a second to pull it up here. Was Animal Crossing, for, GameCube. Where is it here? Yeah, it's like, it's like $90, which is just funny. So, yeah, so it's just something I've sort of been looking at over the last little bit. And I said at the beginning that there was stuff that I regret about this project. What do I mean by that? Well, about, I guess, a year and a bit ago, I sold off my GameCube controllers, which I do regret considering they were the official ones. And I also regret selling off my official memory card as well, which I've had since GameCube days. Had all my saves from Mario Party 7 to Tony Hawk Underground 2 to NHL 06 to anything that was GameCube, basically. I regret selling it to a buddy of mine, and she knows who she is. But it is what it is. They're relatively cheap. They're about $40. So it's not too bad. It's not like they're like $75, $80. So that's sort of the downside right now that I'm sort of facing, and I do regret. So will I get a GameCube? And like I said possibly because I'm not sure. Obviously, if I can get one for like relatively cheap and I can get an adapter cable, then I'll go for it. But I'm not spending like $160, $780 on that at this point. So because with GameCube, um, there's 654 or something, just over 650 games. There's only 2 models. So if you want to do this project yourself and you have a Wii, make sure you have model number RVL001. That is the only unit that is backwards compatible with GameCube. If you have an RVL101 and an RVL201, they will not work. They only are Wii only, and I'll put that into the description. So yeah. So that's sort of the bit of the issue. Luckily enough, I have like I said, the very first version that came out, so I have access to GameCube games, which is great. Makes it a lot easier and a lot cheaper. But yeah, so yeah, so hopefully everything works, and obviously then I have I will be able to start playing Wii games as well. Wii and GameCube, primarily GameCube. Yeah, so I will, like I said, put down the versions that are compatible and not compatible in the description below. Because a lot of people might think, oh, I have VL 101, it'll work. No. And I think I'm probably, let me know if I'm probably one of the only people to do this sort of project and not just go through the GameCube. That uses a Wii to play GameCube games. I know there's a couple other potential people that do it, but probably not to this extent. Like, it's probably modded or something, I'm betting. But we'll see. Like, if it works, fantastic. Then all I have to buy are games eventually. But if it doesn't work, then I'll have to spend a little bit more money and figure it out that way. Which I hope I don't have to. When do I hope this project is completed by? So we're currently middle of January as of recording, or pretty close to middle of January. So I'm hoping this this project is done probably by middle of the year. So June or July, I'm hoping. Meaning that if it works the way that I want with the Wii, great. Then I would have to just buy a couple more parts, like 3 or 4 things, and then great. And then If not, then buy the GameCube and go that route. But I'm hoping it actually works. When will I know if it will work? Probably right away. So probably, like I said, late January, early February. I should know if it works. So what game would I be testing? Considering right now I don't have a GameCube controller at this point, I will be testing Wii Sports. Will be my test game. I may end up doing some videos in it anyways, considering it is one of the very few launch titles of the Wii that I actually have. So yeah, so it's sort of an odd project. I don't normally take these sort of projects on. The closest project I had like this would have probably been hooking up the PS3 again and getting that working and all that sort of redone. But like using a system that can play other games, like the PS3, which can play PS1, PS2, and PS3, obviously, which is mine. And this can play about 2,201 games total. At least my variant can play that library. But if, for example, it doesn't work the way that I want, then I'll have to go through the GameCube route, which gives me another. Well, obviously I have the 650 games plus Game Boy Advance, Color, and Game Boy games. If I buy the adapter base plate for it, which is an extra $100 and something. So I do have that library if I do so choose to go that route, which is something again I did have it back in the day. So do I regret selling the GameCube and all of its gear now? Yeah, I kind of do regret it. But again, the Wii was a little bit. It was new at that point. I don't really know why I ended up switching over to the Wii. I don't really know. But now I'm just using it as basically as a GameCube setup, or potentially that if I have to. But hopefully I can. Like I said, I should know if it works the way that I want. I can still test. I can still test it, but I wouldn't be able to play it. I would have to basically turn off the system and then eject the disc. Because I don't have a controller, like I said, so I don't even have a memory card. So, if there are other games you guys want me to look for GameCube once this is all up and running, please feel free. Leave a comment down below. I'll be going through them quite a fair bit on those videos. So if it's something that you guys want me to do, and again, I'm going to do it anyways because it's sort of a fun project that I've had sort of back in my brain for the last couple of years, actually. Not really last year, end of last year. Sort of a bit of a project that I've sort of been looking at over the last couple of years, probably last, I guess, 2.5, 3 years. But never ended up really finding a unit cheap enough that I would be willing to do it this way. And what I mean by that is buying a GameCube and going that route. Which I could have, actually. There's some cheaper ones out there that are still pretty good. There's a couple other places that I know of that sells them, so I may end up going that route if I have to. Fingers crossed I don't have to go that route, just buy GameCube at that point. Hopefully I can play Wii as well. But I really don't know, actually. I've never done a project of this scale before. This is a complete new scale project for me. Like I've said, it's completely out of my normal setup. Trying to do it that way. So it's definitely going to be weird to play these games again. It's definitely going to be fun. It's definitely going to be a little bit challenging to hunt down certain GameCube games again, and can get very expensive. Like if I want Sonic Riders, I think that's around $40. If I want Melee, I think that's like $150, $160 game. So it is what it is. So it's sort of a bit of a project that I've had sort of, like I said, sort of on the go for the last couple of years. But now it's actually coming together, actually, quite nicely. Faster than I thought it would. But like I said, I have no idea until the rest of the year gets here. So I'm hoping, like I said, probably late January, early February, and then hopefully it's all done by June, July sort of thing. So, anyways, bye bye.